accudemia.net. The name of the college is accudemia.net. And then it will usually take you either to a SSO screen for signing using a single sign-on, or it'll take you to a screen that looks similar to this one, where you put in like your ID and a password. And once you do sign in, you'll be presented with a dashboard. The dashboard is set by admin, so whatever you see and have access to and what order it's in is all determined by administrators. Um, but I want to first show how we set the availability for yourself as the tutor. If you go to the top right, just click on your either your photo, or your name, and you click on My Schedule. This takes you to your schedule builder, your availability to take appointments. Now, one thing we'll be able to do eventually is, let's say your availability you're set now is going to be very similar to the one that you had last semester. You can actually copy over your availability from last semester to this one. Again, only if it's similar, and then you can go in and make the little changes and edits that you need to. But it just allows you to not have to redo your entire availability every single term. But let me show you now. So as the tutor, I can first choose, well, which locations am I going to be tutoring in? Now, this is also depending on which locations you are set for. This tutor I have them set for kind of everything. So I'm just going to choose my Student Success Center. And then it goes into, well, what mode? Now, term mode is the first one we're going to use. And what that is allows you to create a recurring availability the entire current semester or term, which in this case says fall 2024, but let's just pretend it says spring 2025. And once I apply filters, normally, let me fix this really quick. Not working. Normally, it'll look something like this: totally blank slate, no availability has been set. But what this allows you to do as the tutor, if you can set your own availability, you can determine by clicking and dragging which days and times are you able to take appointments. So let's say that I can help between, um, I'll do something more realistic, like 8 to noon, Monday through Friday. I'm going to put available, and then here's where I can determine whether I take more than one student per appointment. So I can do group appointments, and I can determine how many students can book the same time. So I can say students can book uh, two students can book the same time with me, or maybe they're exclusive one-on-ones. If they are a group, there is a setting in academia that says, well, do we allow students to book different courses for the same tutor in the same time slot, or does it have to be the same course? So I just want to throw that out there. We had mentioned it earlier. I'm just going to do one-on-ones, but then I can also determine by day or by time which courses or activities do I help with. So I could even determine, which this isn't used as much as services, which we'll see in a second, but I can determine which days, which hours do I help with which courses. Now, the courses you see here are only the courses which the center, the admins have predetermined that this tutor, Chuck, can help students with, right? So you're only able to choose from those which ones you want to be able to help students with on which days or which hours. I'm gonna leave it at all three. This one is used a little bit more. It's your services. 'Cause services will actually include modality as well. So if you're a tutor and you help with more than one service, or if you offer virtual and in-person tutoring, I can determine on which days and which hours do I help with, online because I'm going to be remote, maybe tutoring only, face-to-face only, or maybe I can help with either one. I don't care which modality the student chooses. I'm going to be in the center and I can help with either modality. And click accept. So that again allows you to say, well, Mondays I'm remote and I only can help with online tutoring, and Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays I help with both in person and virtual, whatever students need. And once I save, you see my calendar, my availability changes to all green. And what I've done is I've created a recurring availability every every week from 8 to noon. I'm going to be available except for when the college has set off times. So the college can actually, or the admins can set uh, center off times where the center will not be open, right? So holidays, things like that. So even though you set a recurring availability, any type of off time that's set by the by admins, will not allow you to be available during those times. Okay. Um, and let's just say, I take a lunch break. I already have some availability, but I take a lunch break until 1, and then I'm available again. I'm just going to click available and just save. So now we have available, all through there. And I take a lunch break in the middle where I'm, considered as not working at all. Now, let's say that this is your typical recurring availability for the current term, but there are exceptions to this rule. Like you have a certain week you're going to be on vacation, a dentist appointment, doctor's appointment. You can actually switch this to what we call merge mode and apply filters, and you can see it goes to week by week. And we had already set this Friday as an exception where I'm not going to be available for like the first half of Friday, but I will be available for maybe the next half, the second half of Friday. So as the tutor, you can come in here and determine, well, you know, an exception to my recurring availability would be like this Thursday, 8 to 9, I'm not going to be working or I'm not available to take appointments. And now students can't book that time. And something that we had talked about is, these are exceptions to the rule, but if we did a calendar sync with your Outlook, it could allow you to mark these off times for appointments that you have or vacations or whatever it might be in your own personal calendar, and it will automatically sync to your Accudemia availability and mark you off there as well. So if we get the two-way sync going, then you still would set your open availability in Accudemia, but anytime you need to take off and you mark it in your own personal calendar, it will sync over to Accudemia and mark you out as not being able to take appointments. Okay. Now, a couple of things is it's showing you the current week. So if I wanted to see like next week, I can choose here for the week of next week, apply filters. Now it shows next week's availability, and then I can make my exceptions if I need to here. Or I can also say show appointments, and it will show appointments in my availability that I'm showing here. So for example, let's go back to last week or the current week, and I click show appointments. It shows that I have an appointment here. Now this is useful, especially if you're going in and doing your exceptions. You have an appointment and you want to mark some time off. If I go to mark this time as not available, it'll let me know that, okay, well, this one's in the past, but another message will pop up and say, hey, you're trying to um, mark off time in which you have an appointment scheduled already. And then you can go ahead and reschedule or cancel that appointment if you need to. I'm going to cancel this. And that's how we create our availability. And as a tutor, if you go back to your dashboard, you're going to be able to see under staff schedule your availability here. I can't see other tutors, but I can see my own. And what we're showing here is that, my availability as Chuck, I can see today's availability. So showing me the hours of today, but if I do have an appointment, it'll show me, the appointment within here. The one represents how many students booked this time. So if it was a group appointment of 5 students, it would show a 5, right? And it does show me the appointment details as I hover over. Now I also can go out to the week. It'll show me again the current week and which days I'm working, which days do I not have availability. So Sunday and Saturday I don't have any availability, but every other day I do, and on Tuesday I have one appointment. Or I can even do this view by the day. So there's your appointments again right there. You can do this by service. So it'll show you what your availability for face-to-face appointments versus online tutoring appointments might be, or the various services you offer appointments for. And you can even do it by course. Some find this helpful. Some don't. I have a ton of courses, but here we can see like I'm available to take appointments in American government and analytical chemistry, and I can see, how many appointments I have for that particular course. And, um, I think actually I forgot one thing in the appointments view all. Okay. So this is just a list view of the appointments themselves. So again, if you go to centers, appointments, this is where you click view all and you can view all of your upcoming appointments. Now, we can see this one was today and the student was a no-show. So I'm going to show you what we can do with that. But if I wanted to go back and I wanted to look at, well, let's see, um, all of fall 2024 appointments. So I could say last 30 days or last week's appointments. It will show me all of my appointments that I've had. You're going to notice a lot of no-shows in my account because I don't typically sign students in for their appointments. But as the tutor, I can see all my appointments. I can see who I met with, uh, what status they received. So did the student show up to the appointment? Were they a no-show? Was it canceled, rescheduled? It even tells you right here, like this one, was a rescheduled appointment. And you can click on any appointment and it will give you more details on the appointment itself. Now, what is common, I think this is the one from, oh, this is from December 10th. Okay. So let's just say that we'll just take this one. But this one was an appointment yesterday, or actually, it's back in December. That was a no-show. Let's just say this was an appointment that happened today, and the student never signed in. I didn't sign the student in, but we did meet. The student did come to the appointment, and I wanted to um, edit the appointment and say the student did show up, so it doesn't look like a no-show. If you hover over it, there's an option called Edit Presence, or you can click here and click Edit Presence here as well. And what this does is it allows you as the tutor to say, yes, the student did come, even though they didn't sign in for their appointment. I can say mark as show. I could even say create new session log. And what that will do is it creates a session log as if the student had signed in and out for that appointment, and it now is showing as a showed up instead of a counting as a no-show for that student. Okay. Other things that we can do is like this one, no-show, or if it's not even a no-show, if it's a scheduled appointment, I can go ahead and reschedule this appointment for the student. It is a past appointment, so I'm not going to be able to reschedule it, but I'll kind of show you how we can do that with a new appointment that we're going to make. But you can cancel and you can reschedule appointments. And either way, if you reschedule or cancel, but both the student and yourself will receive an email confirmation that it's been rescheduled or canceled. Um, Now I know something that was that you might have to do it from time to time is make appointments for students. Maybe they came in, you want to make your next appointment for them, or they came in and weren't able to meet with anybody. You want to go ahead and schedule an appointment for a future visit. If you click on centers and appointments instead of the view all, just click on new appointment, and this will take you to the various selections like choosing a student. Now, if you need to make an appointment for a student, all you need to know is their name or their student ID number. Um, I'm going to choose ID number and I can find Chris. So I'm making an appointment for Chris at this particular location, and then I can choose the modality and or service and say, okay, this is going to be a face-to-face appointment, tutoring appointment for, and this is showing their currently enrolled courses for American government. And then I'm able to see my availability and I'm going to be able to book the student for an appointment with myself. Something we had talked about is if you want, we can make it to where you as a tutor could book an appointment for other tutors. It's just a setting, and yours might be enabled already. I have mine to where tutors can only see their own appointments and they can only book appointments for themselves. But let's go ahead. I'm going to choose the appointment for today at 3 p.m. You could set up a recurring appointment for a student. This is something that you want to work with the student on a recurring basis. I could say set up recurrence, and I could say repeats every Tuesday, or I can do a custom recurring appointment. I'm just going to keep it at one time. It does recap the appointment, and once I click confirm, both the student and the tutor again that email confirmation, email reminder, text reminder. And if I go back to the home screen on my dashboard, we're going to see under upcoming appointments, here are the two appointments I have today. I had one at 2:30 and I have another one, it's coming up at 3 o'clock. Um, so once an appointment is set, let's say like this one at 3, Chris calls in and needs to reschedule. I can go to that appointment and I can say, okay, we're going to go ahead and either cancel this appointment or I can say, well, let's go ahead and reschedule it for you. And I'm going to show my availability again to choose a different day and time in which I want to schedule this because maybe we want, I don't know, Thursday the 13th at 10 a.m. instead. So I can choose what date and time do I want, and then I can finish. And now I'm getting a new email confirmation and reminders for the new appointment that's been rescheduled for the student. So is the student. Now under upcoming appointments, we'll see it's going to be for a different day now. So now it's in 2 days instead of today at 3 o'clock. In the view all, so I'm going to kind of show this really quick. You do have a calendar view. So this is just simple list view. You can go to calendar and you'll be able to see your appointments that you have scheduled on a calendar. So there's the one we rescheduled for Thursday, and then the one that we had earlier today at 2:30. If you are looking for any appointments, so if you're in this view wall and you have a ton of appointments, and because maybe you go out to like the semester view, and you're looking for a specific visit, I don't know if I have anything, but I could actually search for the student that I want to see the appointments from. So in this case, I know I have Chris, but I don't know if I have anybody else. No, it's not gonna do that. All right, so but yeah, I'd be able to say I want to see the all only appointments from Chris Davis. It's going to show me all Chris Davis appointments. Or I could say and only for online tutoring, and it'll filter only the online tutoring appointments for Chris. Or I could say, the sorting by is not by start time, it's going to be by service or by a student's last name. So your default is by start time. Um, and I think that was everything with appointments. Unless there was anything else you wanted me to kind of go over, um, whether it's appointment related or anything else.
That's all the questions we had, I think.
Okay. Did you find this training helpful?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, Chad is very helpful. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate we'll have a recording of it so we can rewatch it should we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you find like, hey, we want to do one on reports or one on something else, you can always reach out. We can have another session, and I can help with training any particular module if you like.
Got it. Thank you so much, Chet, for all your help.
Yep, thank
Thank
you as
you.
well. Have a great day,
Appreciate
everybody.
you too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you everyone for coming.